Hello, YouTubers, or fellow hunters, if you're watching this, because if you're watching this, you probably want to figure out how you tan that rabbit hide that you just got, since there really isn't any other videos on how to tan rabbit hides on YouTube. I looked and looked. All I found was how to tan deer hides, fox hides, beaver hides, squirrel hides, but not rabbit hides. So I decided to make this video just so you can know how to tan a rabbit hide on your own. These are both cottontail rabbits. They were both female. They were both shot legally. I shot them with a 410 game shot, which I don't think I'm going to do that because left a hole there, left a hole over here, left a hole there. I don't want to do that again. I'm just going to use a 22 from now on to shoot these things. Unless I'm going to stock them. Then I'll use the 410. Otherwise, I'm just going to use the 22. But, I shot this one on the 31st of December, this one on the 1st of the year. But let's start with how I actually tanned it. What I did was I took a 5-gallon bucket like this, and I put just enough water in it that I could soak these in. What I did was I filled that with salt. It was warm water and with salt, and I mixed it up. I had just enough salt in it to where it was cloudy and I couldn't see the bottom. And what I did was I put these in there, soaked it for a few minutes, and then it drew out enough blood to where I had to change the water. So I changed the water, and then I did it again. Then I left it for that way for 2 days, stirring a couple times a day just to make sure the salt didn't settle to the bottom. And what the salt bath allows is it draws out blood and it gets into the pores. That way it can help have a better cure to it. That way you're not just putting salt over it and having it dry and hard and stiff. Now this is nice and pliable. I hardly did anything to this, and it's this pliable. I mean, I almost didn't even work it at all, and it is this pliable. So after the salt bath, what I did was I laid it on the board, spread it out, tacked it to it, layered it with salt to where I couldn't see any part of it at all. All I saw was a salt mound. And you especially want to get the edges because they like to dry up on you and shrivel up, and you have to cut that off. Speaking of cutting off, you want to use a razor or something with a sharp edge. You don't want to use scissors because then it has a bad edge and it cuts the hair and makes it short. But the razor, it allows you to have a nice edge and full hair. So yeah, this razor, as you notice, is kind of homemade. I might make a video on that, but that's not the point of this video. But after I did that, I wiped as much salt as I could get off, and I put olive oil on it. You could put pine oil or just about any other kind of oil. What it does is it also helps cure the hide. It makes for a better tan, and it helps dry it out a little bit faster. But with the cold weather, I had to bring it inside, and after a couple of days, it was pretty much dried up. So what I did was I untacked it. I worked it a little bit, even though I really didn't have to. And then I took a dog brush, metal, and then I brushed the actual skin part to make it for a softer hide. And then I did that to the hair side too. It's nice and soft and fluffy, and I blow dried it and everything, so it's really nice. And then what I did was, since there was clumps of hair on the sides and stuff, I took the back end of a razor, straight edge, and I just pushed down and pulled out all the way around it. I did that twice, and what it did is it allowed all the clumps and stuff to get out, and it left me a nice edge of hair for a nice tanned hide. And I did that, and as you may notice, I don't know if you noticed or not, there are some stitches here. I had to sew it back when I was trying to flesh it. When you flesh it, a rabbit hide, it makes a really paper thin, and it gets really fragile. And if you notice on professional skins, they have a bunch of stuff peeling off of it. What that is the membrane, and you want to leave that membrane on, as I found out, because it keeps you from having a really fragile hide and gives you a nice thick leather hide that feels nice and soft. And yeah, so after I brushed it and did all that, it still kind of stunk, even though this olive oil took some of the stink out. What I decided to do was put some Febreze on it. So I sprayed the fur side and I sprayed the underside. I blow dried it. I did that a couple times. And what I realized was it went from like a skin feeling to a leather feeling when I did that. So I decided to look at the ingredients in Febreze, and all there was water, alcohol, and odor eliminator derived from corn fragrance. That's all there was. So, and then I was like, alcohol, what does that do? So I looked it up, and I found out that alcohol is an even better cure than salt and oil and stuff like that. And it made this nice, soft, leathery skin. So from now on, I'm going to spray some of this on. It's basically spraying alcohol on, and it cures it, and it makes it a nice leather. And so I'd advise for you to do that too. But I just worked it and brushed it, and I got it to where it looks nice, just like these. And that's how I got my tanned hides. I hope you can use all this information to make your very own, to tan your very own hide. That way you don't have to pay money to have it tanned. I hope this video is helpful, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.